record on this computer.
Getting people. I'm so
excited. Recorded. Just to let y'all know, this is being recorded, and then it's going to be posted onto YouTube after the fact. Welcome to our coffee time, tea time, where we get to chat with us and get to know us and hang out and ask any questions. This is our Ask Anything. If you don't have any questions, we can start off with different questions that we have pre-selected and pre-made. Yeah. Kelsey, I'm on a call, but I'll connect my audio in a second. Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds great. Do we want to start exactly? Whoa, look at that. Everybody's joining in. Do we want to do some introductions here in a round? Mal, Emily, intro?
Okay. I'm Mallory Bridge. I'm an outreach committee head, and I'm a second-year software engineer.
Okay. I'm Emily. I'm also an outreach co-head with Mal. I'm also a second-year software engineering student. So you'll be hearing that a lot, I think, today.
I'm Jackie. I am the logistics head, and I am also a second-year software engineer. Well,
We promise there's more than just software. We promise. Yeah. It's just the three of us have enough software.
Yeah, and then like one of us joins and then forces the other to join and then get involved, and then it's kind of a domino effect with each other.
It's a fun time.
Okay, so that's one. Do you want to start with any questions from the audience at all? Anybody have any questions?
Anybody in the audience want to introduce themselves?
Yeah. No? Okay. So has WiC helped you get a co-op internship or internship or full-time job? I know full-time job doesn't really work for us because we're second years, but has WiC helped you at all in the job, career, field stuff?
I'll start. Actually, yes. WiC helped me get my summer co-op with Liberty Mutual. I did a tech summit with them last year as a freshman, which I felt underqualified to do, but no, it's not true. So I went with them over the summer, hung out in Boston for a few days. It was a lot of fun. And then I got invited to do a interview with them, and now hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, I will be with them in the summer. So that's kind of my story, but I would have never known the opportunity if WiC didn't reach out and say, like, here's a member opportunity, go for it. So
yeah, it's been helping me. I still don't have a co-op because it's quarantine season, but there's definitely a lot of events that you can go to help you. Like the Affinity Reception is an event we hold. Well, we don't hold it, but we go to it right before the career fairs, and that's when recruiters get to talk to you, and it's a nice way to kind of get ready to be out there. But like Emily said, WiC really helps push those opportunities to you, so makes it a lot easier.
So for me, I got to go to Grace Hopper conference. So hello everybody that's just joined. We're talking right now about how has WiC helped us with everything, with co-ops and internships. So I got to go to Grace Hopper celebration, and they have this huge job fair. And because of that, I was able to go to a ton of interviews with different companies and get a lot of different offers. And it's been a really big experience. WiC has helped me with like being in a leadership role, helped me get internships because they're like, oh, this person is a part of WiC and they do leadership roles and everything. So it helps them see that you take initiative and you do things outside of college and outside of class. And then, yeah, so a really fun time. So everybody's joined. Hi, welcome. We are really happy for you to be here. If you have any questions, please unmute and ask, or ask us in the chat. And we're happy to, hello dog, and we're happy to answer questions for you. Put it in the chat, unmute. If not, we're gonna go into different pre-made questions. Anybody have any questions? Hello, so somebody have questions? We can't hear anything right now.
You're muted.
Sorry. Hi, my name's Olivia. I'm an incoming cybersecurity student.
Ooh, very fancy. Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Have any questions for us?
No, I was just trying to see if other people had questions that I didn't have, and then I just learned more about what was going on.
Okay. Somebody else have any questions? If not, we'll move on to another pre-selected question.
I had a question about what computer would you guys suggest?
So for me personally, Mac or Windows, you can go either way with that. Both are fine. Linux, that's a little iffy. Sometimes we get like pre-made software that we have to use in class, and it's just easiest to do either like Mac or Windows. If you're going for a laptop, I would say kind of smaller is better. You don't want to break your back with a giant laptop that's super heavy, so try to go for something that's light, but also has a nice amount of speed to it.
I was also
wondering.
Go for it.
I was also wondering if you could use like an iPad as like your note taking, and would that like work for like the needs of a computer too, for the most part, like in terms of applications, or
you can only program with an iPad, and if you're going into computing, I would not suggest programming with an iPad because that's like kind of you're not going to be able to do it. So definitely get a laptop if you like Apple.
Okay.
Mac is a great way to stay in the Apple realm, but you should do something definitely light, like Mallory said, because there's some people that have like gaming laptops that carry it around all over campus. Campus is really big. Like our quarter mile is more than a quarter mile. So you're going to be walking back and forth from dorms into different classes. You don't want to hurt your back.
Yeah, from dorms to Golisano, where the computing is, it's probably a little under a mile.
To and from, it's about almost a little like 1.7 or 1.8 miles. I actually have checked that before, so I can confirm. But it's not a great walk. But if you do want to use like an iPad to take notes in class, you could do that, and then just like leave your laptop at home if that's like something you would want to do. Leave it at your dorm and use it there. It's always helpful to have a laptop in class, though. So.
Okay, thank you.
But if it is a computing class, you're gonna have a lab with a computer in front of you. So if you can't get a laptop, like don't be scared. There's labs for you to use.
Okay.
Oh, so if you're taking like a class that you actually have to program in, there will be computers for you there?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Cool, because I am that kid with the gaming laptop that would be carrying that around everywhere. So I was like, I don't want to do that.
The class you're in will give you kind of like here's a login. Depending on the class you're in, you might have more than one login. And the teachers and professors will help you if you need it, but they're just, for the most part, they're pretty, just you can jump on any computer with your login. It doesn't really matter. Definitely recommend that over carrying a big laptop because you will also have textbooks, and that is not a fun time.
Yeah, and I'm in high school at the moment, and it's already an issue. I'm like, oh, my back hurts all the time. So.
Like in my book bag, I carry my laptop and one notebook, so it's nice and light to go to class.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
So I had a question about classes. How big do the classes tend to be?
So I've never had a class that was like over 45 students. Personally, I'm not in like computing, like if you go into like biology or chemistry, then you're going to get into the big lecture halls. But within Golisano, our classes are typically 40 and under.
I think the biggest class that you'll have is, and this depends on your major and it depends on if anything changes because we don't know the new curriculum changes, but CS1 was probably our biggest class.
Yeah.
And it was only our biggest class because of the way the class was structured. So like, for example, for this class, it would be, you would have maybe 40 to 50 people in a room for the lecture, but then you would split up into a lab where you would only have half of that. And then it would be the same for like a recitation or a review type session. So you had a lot of people, but you didn't interact with like more than 25 at the most, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So like that would be a kind of example. And if you had any like, our co-op lecture was pretty big, but it's not like a class where you're going to learn a lot of absolutely essential stuff, I guess. You learn more of the co-oping and the career side of being in college.
Yeah.
So those types of classes, you'll have more people, but it's not a problem, if that kind of makes sense. So.
I was just wondering, because I saw one of your guys' videos and I think it was Jackie, is that her name? She gave a presentation. Yeah, and I like your little thing that you do at the end. It's so cute. So on the outreach committees, though, if I were to join one of them, what types of activities would I be doing to help?
So much
fun. You want to go for that?
I mean, do you want to start? I'll fill in anywhere.
You have 2 outreach committee heads right here, and I was a previous outreach committee head. So we're really big in outreach.
We're biased, but outreach is a lot of fun.
So for outreach, we have a weekly meeting that's just our committee where we plan events, and some of the events we do include, I'm blanking on all of them right now, Girl Scout badge days. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 or 3 of those, right? So the Girl Scouts come to us and we split them up and we teach them something. It's like a half a day thing. And other events, come on, help me out here. I'm blanking on all of them. Like half of them got canceled.
After hours.
I was gonna say we're committee heads, but all of our events have been canceled. So we're feeling it a little bit. We're a little sad that we don't get to meet you guys in person, but this is a fun way to do it. Maybe, I don't know. But after hours would have been our big one for this semester. We have Rock Girl Hacks in the fall for 6 to
fall.
What grades?
It's a middle and high school hackathon. So we have them come over to us for like the full day, and they get into teams, and we teach them like web development or whatever the committee decides to teach. And then you help us plan that, and we execute that and volunteer, and you get to see all the girls with their cute prizes. Oh, so cute.
It's a lot of fun. We do smaller events that just come to us as needed. We have what we call the mobile tech van, which technically is outreach, technically not. But we pretty much
integrated outreach. It is.
Okay, that's what I thought, and then I wasn't positive. So we go out into the community and we try to teach things. This year, our emphasis was on cybersecurity, and we went to a local high school, middle and high school, and then we also would go to the YMCA. We went twice, and then coronavirus happened, but it's still something we like to do. We'll do random little odd events here and there. This semester, we did like a STEM fair. I can't think of an example from last semester, but I'm sure there was one. But it's a lot of fun. It really is. Like, you get to interact with like groups of people that you would never get the chance to otherwise. And I mean, it's a great volunteering experience. We're obviously biased, but I think it's a lot of fun getting to plan the events and get to kind of see the behind the scenes of everything. So if that's something you enjoy, definitely join outreach.
Yeah, I'm on an FTC team at the moment, and I was head of the outreach committee for a while before I became team captain. And that's still what I do, primarily outreach, and I absolutely love it. And so as soon as I watched that video, I was like, "Ooh, an outreach committee! That sounds like fun."
I was on an
So-
FRC team, so I was also pretty much in charge of my outreach. It's a lot of fun, and I'm also really sorry if your season got cut short because coronavirus.
Yeah, it's
And,
okay.
the
For us,
thing
we
was
didn't do
canceled.
too well. So we were going to go to states, but then when states got canceled, we weren't. If people are going to get hurt, like,
Mhm. Yeah. There's always
Any other
another chance.
questions?
Yeah, I'm in FOC too, and one of our competitions got canceled literally like the day of.
Yeah.
So
That
I think it
happens.
was the one that was gonna be at OIT actually. That got
Yeah.
canceled like the day of. So
Oh yeah, that one did get Do we have any other questions?
Did any of you take the AP Computer Science AP test? Okay. I was just,
Which class? Because I was in computer
Uh,
science principles.
it's Java. It's
Okay. I was in the other
I
one.
took it.
oh, okay. I was just wondering because I was thinking of taking a test, and I don't know if RIT let you like skip classes if you get a high enough score. on it.
Yes,
Yes.
you can. You can go into, it's
APCSX.
Yes.
yeah.
APCS.
So I think you only have to take one semester of computer science instead of two.
Yes.
Cool.
Depends on your major though,
you
because we
fast
don't know how things are changing.
Yeah.
We'll put the little asterisks there. That's how it was when we were freshmen. We're all second years for everyone who just joined. That's how it was when we were freshmen. I don't know how that's changing with new classes being added and everything. So
All right.
little
Cool.
asterisks.
But definitely take it if you know it because it will help you fast track graduation because I know a lot of
Yeah.
people graduating
yeah.
early or doing the BSMS program because of it.
I already took the class. I was
If
just.
you're in new media or GDB,
I
it will
didn't.
not help you much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I already took the class. I was just thinking of taking the AP test, and I didn't know if it was worth it.
Usually, if you know that you're going to get the college credit, I say it's worth it because
Yeah.
helps you graduate early, gang, and it's a lot of fun. We have a question in the chat from Olivia again, but does that answer your question at all?
Yeah. Thank you.
God.
Okay. Olivia says, if we've done any volunteer work with CyberCore, we have not, but we are always open to more volunteering and new companies and every other thing.
It's a new opportunity you could bring to the outreach committee, which is awesome.
Exactly. Do we have any other questions right now?
How was your adjustment to like your first year at RIT? Because I'm from the Philippines, so I'm kind of scared of adjusting to living and studying in the States.
Okay. So I am currently in Reno, Nevada right now, West Coast. So I'm 2,600 miles away from home. And it was a really big adjustment for me my freshman year because it was really scary to be so far away from my parents and in a different time zone as well was like, whew. But having a community around you and like with WiC, for me, it was WiC. For you, maybe a completely different community. But having community behind you is the best thing that helped me become a better person and help me grow because I had friends that we would take care of each other when we were sad or homesick. And like with Emily, we would sit on the floor and just talk and have our fun crackhead hours. And
Existential crisis is under the table.
Yep, exactly. So it's kind of like the people that you're with help you transition a lot, and you need to go out and find a community that you enjoy to help your transition go by way smoother. Because if you just stay in your dorm, holed up, because this is my first semester, I was in my dorm holed up for the whole entire time, and I didn't want to go out. I just wanted to stay in bed and do nothing and only do homework, and that wasn't good for me or my mental health, and I was thinking of transferring. But as I got more involved with WiC and finding community, it got thousands times better transitioning. Do you guys want to talk about it?
I have just one thing to add to that because I'm not from very far away from RIT, but I am 4 hours away. So one of the things that I tend to do as a person is I just like shrink and I don't really try to involve myself a lot. So like being in WiC not forced me to be more like social and stuff, but it kind of does help you. The biggest piece of advice I can give is don't isolate yourself. People will do that, like I did that. Wasn't great. Does take a toll on your mental health, but eventually you will find a community, whether it's WiC for you, it can be WiC for you, it could be something completely different. We are also here though, and hopefully you know us a little bit better after this, so we can also always be a resource to everybody here to kind of facilitate that transition, because we did it last year. We were in your shoes. Every upperclassman was once a freshman, so we were all terrified coming in. It doesn't matter who you are. If they tell you they weren't terrified coming in, they might not have been, but they're probably lying. There was some fear there. So that's all I have to add. We've all done it before, so if you're afraid, that's okay. It will get better as soon as you get here. Well, as soon as you get to RIT.
Yeah. A little fun tip. Oh, puppy. Fun tip on how to make friends really easily during your first week of college. Just always leave your dorm room open. Like if you're in the room, just prop your door open and people will come to you. Be like, what's up? What's happening? And then that's how we met like everybody on my floor. And those are like my friends for like first year. I guess I live with them still, so good friends. Good friends that way.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions right now? Anybody?
Okay, I actually have one more. I think there was a guy named David in the video that I watched, and he said he attended like 30 hackathons or something, and I was like, how on earth did you do that? Is there like a band that he takes or something? Like,
So David is a huge hackathon attendee. He is a part of Code RIT and a part of a lot of other things. So he attends all of the ones out here at RIT, but then also travels out to a lot of other colleges to go to attend the hackathons and everything. Like he flew out to San Francisco one time to go attend SF Hacks. And he said it was a great experience. So he's huge in the hackathon community. And if you're interested in learning more about the hackathon community, I would highly suggest reaching out to him on Slack now versus later, because he is graduating.
cool, thank you so much. Also, your dog is adorable.
So I'm David's hackathon partner, or one of them, and don't do that. Do not go to 30 hackathons. Look, I did it, and my semester was a disaster. My mental health was a disaster. Go to one or two.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm doing. I did it. It's done. It's a story. But don't pick one or two that you really want to go to. Make sure all your homework is done for the week before and the week after. Don't do it if you have a test the first part of the week. Don't. Don't. Trust me, don't.
Thank you for the advice. Because I was like, wow, that's really cool. But now that you say that, it doesn't.
It's not cool. It is self-destructive, and that is all I will say.
Oh my! Just
Okay, this reminds me of another question I have actually. Are there like ways to get involved with programming in a club that like maybe doesn't involve staying up all night or something?
We have a projects committee that creates projects for WiC that you can do like programming for, and like you can do different projects with them. I know a lot of other clubs does different projects, like SSD, they do different projects that you can join in.
And SSE is Society of Software Engineers, just to add that in.
Oh yeah, sorry. Code RIT, they host the hackathons. Do you know anybody else?
Game Dev Club. We occasionally
Game Dev Club
gyms, and you can show off your stuff, and you can learn a lot by coming to our meetings.
Mal, do you know anybody else?
What's everybody's major here? Like, what you coming in for? You can type it in the chat if you can't talk.
I'm in computer science, so.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I'm
I actually had a question. What kind of software do you use for like in classes or programming?
Oh,
I don't know.
First year, you have Python and Java, but if you're doing APCSX, you do like half the semester in Python, then half the semester in Java, or like 1/3 of the semester in Python and 2/3 in Java. And you use JetBrains things like PyCharm or IntelliJ. I know a lot of people also move to VS Code afterwards, but usually we use IntelliJ and PyCharm and the JetBrains Studio stuff.
The JetBrains stuff is mostly used so the professors are more easily and the TAs are able to help you if you run into problems. But if there's like something that you prefer using and like you're 100% set, like I know what I'm doing on this, they're not going to necessarily tell you no. So it's up to your comfort level. Because I know a lot of people in my CS1 class used everyone used something different. It was crazy. Like finding the same person that was using the same IDE as you was impossible. But that's unrelated because we didn't have a professor for 5 weeks. That won't happen to you. I promise. It was just a weird.
Ours, we were forced to use PyCharm and IDLE and IntelliJ.
We weren't even told what it was. So we were just like, what are we supposed to use? And I forget what we even ended up using. Half of the people were coding in Notepad, and we didn't know how to run it. So, that won't happen to you.
Yeah, mine was fine.
That won't happen.
My professor just said, download this. Here's how you set it up. And that's just what we used in that class.
Yeah, that's what happened.
90% of what's going to happen. What happened to me is not going to happen to anybody else. It's just a crazy fun story that I can tell now because I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions right now?
So people always say that the STEM classes, they're always super hard and all that. And I was considering doing a lot of my gen ed credits at another college just over the summer so I could make room for extra classes that I wanted to take at RIT, specifically the free and open source software classes, which can't fit into my gen ed credits. And I was worried about my GPA, considering that I'd be taking mostly STEM classes. When you got to RIT, did your GPA go from a 3.8 in high school to a 2? So
I think it really depends on the person. For me, I'm happy with, as long as I keep above a 3.0, I'm happy as a clam. You know?
Your idea of what good grades are completely shifts when you go to college. Because when I was in high school, I was one of those kids that was I'm going to get a 99, 100 on everything. And now I'm here. I'm celebrating if I get an 80 on something. I'm yeah, this is great.
You're going to get a C, and you're going to be this is the best grade I could have possibly gotten.
Passed it. Thank God.
It sounds crazy, but I was also one of those straight A students. Now, another thing that happens, this happened for me, so my GPA is not the greatest right now, but it's because of outside of my control issues. So life happens, you can't really contain it all. So it's sometimes your grades slip a little bit, and you're in college, so your GPA shouldn't be the most important thing to you. As long as you're learning, that's all that matters. Now you're going to be taking probably a little bit more STEM classes than I am at the current moment, but it's if you feel comfortable with them, go for it. Don't let it stop you. Because you're going to learn regardless.
And you can definitely still maintain a high GPA. It's possible. It is
100% possible.
It's just, sometimes it's not.
Also, though, with that,
don't beat yourself down.
Balance. Don't overkill. Don't kill yourself with it. You can take 12 credits to be a full-time student. So if you're going to take 4 really hard classes, don't overwhelm yourself. Even if the class says it's going to be simple, Jackie and Mal, I'm looking at you guys with bio. We're all in bio right now. Don't overwhelm yourself with classes. Don't fill your schedule just to fill your schedule. If you want to take 4 really hard classes, do it. like just don't overwhelm yourself and try to keep a social life even with that, because it's going to be very easy for you to slip into this. I need to be in the library like 90% of my time. I need to be in my room doing my homework 90% of the time. Like, make sure you're maintaining that balance.
Or else you're gonna burn out really fast.
Really fast.
You will burn out.
Okay. Question about learning languages. So if you really want to get a little bit ahead, maybe dip into some Python, but you can show up with no coding experience and you can still succeed. That's what I did. I had never coded before when I showed up to RIT.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a little ahead, try Python, because that's what you're going to
We
be doing.
also offer Code Zero during the summer, right? Did you all remember that? I don't know if they're still doing that, but I didn't but they offered us like Code Zero, so like we could watch videos about programming to get a heads up. But here's this kicker: a lot of people go into CS1 with Java knowledge, and then they absolutely hate it because they're like, "Ew, Python! Why are you learning this? That's so gross." You have they have a fine line between for beginners and then for people who have coding experience, and they do the line really well, but you just need to be sure you're not like overdoing it, and like you should be following the professor and following what they're saying, because there's so many times and instances where they're like, oh, but there's this already built-in class for it, so why do I have to program it? It's to learn actually about it, you know? So it's really important to listen to your professor, and like if they say don't go ahead, don't go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, you will get dock points for that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you will get dock points for it, even if you did it perfectly, and if you use other things that you haven't learned yet, you get dock points for it.
Yeah, you can still ask them about it. Be like, can I use, I mean, just like hypothetically, you can ask them about stuff, but just don't put it in your homework. Just do what they tell you.
Like, you might run into the idea of like, oh, I know how to code this using like what Java has available or like what Python has available, so why can't I do it this way? Like 90% of the time, they're not having you code it just for busy work. They're having you hard code this type of stuff so you learn it. Like, you're gonna come to a point where like, I can do this like maybe 100-line assignment in like 2 lines. Why are they making you do this? It's not so you know how to do it without that library. It's so you understand how the library works. So
foundations.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna add on, even if you know like Java and Python, you might not be able to use everything you know in class, because they're going to tell you like, don't use like this type of like library, or like don't use like this type of way of programming it, because I think it was like for us CS1 and 2, or CS1 it was like recursion and iteration.
Yeah.
People were getting so mad because they're like, I know how to do it this way. Why are you making me do it this way? It's like, once again, it's going back to like, they're teaching you the foundations. They want you to know the basics before you can do what's comfortable for you. Because, like, not gonna lie to you, in industry, you're gonna do what's best and what's most comfortable for you.
Yeah.
But you can't do that until you know all of the options you have available. So.
And then also during all of the foundations that you learn, those are a lot of basic programming interview questions that you're just like, oh, I gotta know this stuff. So like,
read your CS1 and 2 notes.
Yeah, I like one of my coding interview questions was about recursion, and I was like, oh, hello, I learned this. I know what's up. So all of these classes and all these things are so important to your foundation, and also really important to gaining interviews and passing the coding interviews.
You might not necessarily enjoy it when you're in the class, but when you're outside of the class, you're going to be like, this was worth the time that I spent complaining about it. And it's worth it. Like, I promise. I complained about classes. So.
Is it likely that you'll make mistakes? Like, I have a lot of experience with Java and Python. Is it likely that you'll make a mistake and like hand an assignment where you use something that you use a library that you weren't supposed to, but you didn't realize it? And like, what would happen in that case?
So for the most part, the professor is going to be very direct and will tell you exactly, don't use this. Like,
okay,
they already know like the workarounds. So they'll tell you directly, don't use this specific workaround. So if you include other stuff, like the CA will probably look back at your grade. You can definitely talk to the professor about it. It won't destroy you if you accidentally.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also can't stress how important it is to read the documentation they give you, because they'll write it all out. They'll write everything out in the write-ups that they give you. They'll say, don't use like this, this, and this. They will tell you that stuff. So like you don't have to worry about it. But if you do have questions, make sure you reach out, because they're there to help you. So.
Do we have any other questions?
How involved should you get? Like, how many like communities and clubs like should you really like try or join during your first year?
So that's a good question, actually. Do what's best for you. Don't
you can handle.
Yeah, don't try to overwhelm yourself. If RIT is still doing everything the way they did it our freshman year, we had a activities fair where I don't even know what the number was. There were like hundreds of clubs that all just have a table out, and you can just go up to the table and you can join. You can sign up to join the club right there. Now, that being said, I did the most that I could, and I signed up for like 50 clubs. I attend one.
Everybody does that. Everybody does that. And you just
so
get all their emails every year, and it's like,
and you're just like, I remember when I almost joined that club, but I didn't do it. You'll sign up for all of these clubs, but at the end, you're gonna do what's best for you, and that's okay, because like everybody understands that the move to college it's literally a big life event, because you don't know what to expect. You've never been in a situation like this before. It's completely different. So like you can 100% sign up for all the clubs you think you might have an interest in, and then go to the ones that you feel. Like what we did with WiC was freshman year, we would all the girls would get together and go to dinner at Gracie's, and then we would all walk over to to Golisano where the events were, and we would all just go, and we like lined up a whole entire row in the auditorium, and like that's how at least we found the community. And I'm not saying that like WiC has to be that community for you guys, but you will find that eventually. We didn't start doing that right away. It took us a little bit of time.
I didn't even join WiC until this year, my second year. Is the food okay? It's definitely okay.
It is.
It is fully edible. And when you first get there, it's pretty good. I lived off the pasta bar like my entire freshman year, in quesadillas. You will find food that you like there. Definitely. Sometimes it'll be very expensive and it might not fit in your meal plan. Don't do Tiger 20 or Tiger like 15. You want the most dining dollars.
Do the Tiger 10.
Do the Tiger 10.
It's like 10 meals a week, I think, right?
Yeah, so
5 exchanges.
5 are wherever you want. And I don't know what the prices are anymore, because they changed them.
Tiger 10, because you have the least amount of times that you have to eat at Gracie's. So you only have to eat at Gracie's 5 times. You can eat up to Gracie's 10 times a week, but then 5 of those can be exchanged to be eaten at like any of the other restaurants that are a lot better and like great. Like I love the visiting chef. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. And you get the most amount of dining.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, like that the Tiger 10 is the best meal plan.
Yes.
Is it inconvenient to go to other dining halls besides Gracie's? Like, are they out of the way, or is it fine?
So Gracie's, so Gracie's is so if you're on dorms, one side is Gracie's where you get your meal swipes, and on the other side is Commons where you can do meal exchanges. They're both about equal distance depending on where I was like dead in the center between them. So those two are the most convenient to go to. And everywhere else on campus, you kind of have to walk a little bit, but that's fine. Like you can get out your dorm room, go out
during lunch. If you're on campus and like on academic side in lunch, you definitely want to eat, like do a meal exchange or dual dining, not at Gracie's. You don't want to have to walk all the way in academic to walk back to Gracie's to come back to school and like come back to academic. So that's a lot of walking. I got it a lot of steps though.
There's a lot of small places you can go to. Like there's Seoul, if you're dorm side,
I love Seoul.
Soul's
Love Soul.
Quesadillas.
great. Like,
Their quesadillas, I can't stop thinking about them. They're
I miss
fantastic.
their
They bake them.
quesadillas, honestly.
Nathan Soup and Salad.
Nathan's,
That's the number
yeah.
one place to eat on campus.
You got
The mac
Nathan's.
and cheese.
Yes.
Listen up to Nathan's mac and cheese. It's hidden, kind of. You don't realize it's there. So if you're in the SAU, you're in the big part. You're going to see Ben and Jerry's ice cream. If you're looking straight at it, turn to your right, and you will see Nathan's Soup and Salad. They serve mac and cheese there every day.
Mhm.
So if you're like me and you need to eat mac and cheese multiple times a week, that's where you go. It's about $3.50. There's free saltine crackers. It's a good lunch.
Agreed.
I spent the entire last semester eating mac and cheese every day.
It's worth it. You don't get tired of it. I promise.
No, it's delicious. They
Also,
have other
Ben
stuff
also
too.
says Artesanos.
Artesanos. I don't go there often, but they definitely
Coffee.
have coffee. It's super cute.
Coffee is all over campus too if you're a coffee drinker.
Yes.
You got, I don't know what's dorm side. I know
Java's, you can't use dining dollars. You have to use actual money or Tiger Bucks. But Java's, ooh, I went there for the first time this year. Ooh, that coffee was great.
I've
So,
never been to
yes.
Java's, but
Java's,
I go to other places.
watch out for Java's. That's the only place on campus where you cannot use your dining dollars.
Yep.
It's in the library. That's it. Every other place on campus will take, even when you go to hockey games or like sport events, they'll take your dining dollars there.
Also, go to hockey games. They're a lot of fun, I promise.
Yeah,
That
we
was
can,
fun.
we'll represent
We'll
hockey
do
games
WiC
later.
nights. We'll do WiC like outreach this year. We went all together as a team, and it was the best thing ever. We got hit by the puck thrown to us twice.
I got a jersey on, so we're thriving. I'm a hockey
We
freak,
have
so
fun.
I miss it.
We can talk about hockey all day, so we'll
Honestly.
skip over that.
We're gonna stop it for now, but
Yeah,
we'll talk about hockey all day. If anyone wants to talk hockey, find me in the Slack. I promise. I'm there.
Okay.
But back to food on campus.
Food on okay, great places to eat. Salsaritas. They kind of do like Moe's, Chipotle style stuff.
Chipotle. Yep.
Right next to Golisano, it's a regular size. Is exactly a meal exchange basically. So you get a lot for your money. Also right there, other places.
Deli.
Control Out Deli. That's right in Golisano. Very close to your classes.
What else is there?
Crossroads.
Midnight Oil. So Midnight Oil is right around campus. Can I share a map of campus?
Yeah, if you want to screen share, you can. Yeah, the RIT Inn. We did that one year where we all went to the RIT Inn and we got milkshakes and French fries and we all
so
went out and
good.
they accept dining dollars and it was
so good.
fun. Like they have a bus that goes too, but Emily drove.
Also, if
Highly recommend.
anyone experience RITN, I do have a car on campus. If I'm on campus, I have a car on
Okay.
campus.
Can we see the map right here?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like the coronavirus updates.
Yeah, this is a little scary. So this right here, this is your home. This is where you're gonna go to college. These are the
You're gonna
places
spend a lot
to
of
eat.
time in there. But it's a fun place sometimes.
So you have Global Market at Crossroads. This is where Salsarita is. Also, secret fact, they sell bubble tea at the market at Global.
Bubble tea isn't that great though. If you're a snob of bubble tea like me, you got to go off campus to go to Thai tea or Kung Fu tea.
But if you can't go off campus, it's hidden right there. So this is Crossroads. I like their food personally. They have very good sandwich station.
They have an Asian bar.
Good traveling chefs. They have smoothies.
Yeah.
So if you have a bunch of dining dollars to burn at the end of the semester and you want to buy $6 smoothies every day, that's what I did. It was great. This is Midnight Oil. This is a Starbucks. So you can get anything that you would normally get at a Starbucks right here.
It's Starbucks. We're just not allowed to call it Starbucks. So that's why it's called Midnight Oil.
They have Starbucks containers and stuff. Like,
it's literally a Starbucks. We're just not allowed to call it Starbucks.
Yep. This is Java's. This is where you cannot spend your dining dollars. Okay, now we're locked in here. So this right here Nathan's Soup and Salad, Ben and Jerry's ice cream. The colder it gets, you get a discount. So if you show up and it's negative 30 degrees, your ice cream is discounted. Brick City Cafe. Freshman year, this is the only place I ate because they had a fantastic salad bar and they also serve delicious sandwiches.
Breakfast
Great
sandwiches
place to
are
eat.
amazing too.
Mm-hmm. Everybody there is super nice. Very nice people. Ritz Sports Zones.
They have the pasta bakes.
They do the
There's
pasta.
pasta bakes. Delicious.
The paninis are also
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Paninis.
that's true.
People go there for the paninis.
There's a swing set outside of there now.
Yes. We do have swing sets on campus.
I think we have two.
Three.
Two
Two,
or three.
okay.
Wait, where's the third one?
I have no idea. So there's one
There's
right
one on
here.
the quarter mile and there's one right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm sure there's a third one we don't know about.
Oh, swings pop up all the time on campus. Most likely campus safety takes them down, but they're up for a good amount of time before they get
I
taken.
almost broke my ankles on one. It was rough. Okay. Let's see here. Free gumball machine. You've heard about the free gumball machine, correct? Yes? Yes.
Wait,
Everybody?
what?
Gumball
I
machine?
can't see chat.
What?
I
So
don't
everybody
even
heard about the free gumball
swing
machine.
sets. Swings. So like our freshman year, a lot of people were putting up swings on the trees, but then campus safety was like, no, that's bad. No. So then instead, RIT installed actual swing sets around campus for us because they love us. So we have swings. Yes.
That is pretty great.
They're awesome. I highly recommend if you're ever stressed, you just find a swing set. Most nights, you'll just see people outside swinging. It's a lot of fun.
Great.
Highly recommend.
Yep. So this is Gracie's right here. Your main dining hall. Beans is right
Third one's
outside.
at the
There's
barn.
a third one. Okay. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you, Kelsey.
This is Beans. They serve also
Thank
smoothies and coffee. The cheapest coffee on campus, I would say. You get the most iced coffee for what you pay. Gracie's, and then, yeah, you see, kind of depending where you are, like they split them. And this right here is Commons, College Grind, another Starbucks.
Commons is open
Commons.
really, really late to like
Yes.
11 p.m. at night.
Yes.
So then if you're studying late and you're on dorm side, everybody goes to Commons for late night food.
Mm-hmm. And Commons and the College Grind are in like the NTID area. So like a lot of the times when you go there, you will be talking and working with ASL students, which is kind of cool. The deaf culture on campus is awesome. Like I highly recommend taking part in it. I didn't freshman year, but I should have. It was a lot of fun. They have like no voice zone. I think it's in that building.
Our freshmen currently, last semester, we had our freshman group go all together to No Voice Zone together to learn, and it was the sweetest thing ever.
And now they don't know a lot. Like I was talking with them the other day, and they're like signing. I'm like,
crazy.
I don't know that.
There's a question of, do you have to stay up late often?
You don't-
Sometimes, if you are a good scheduler, then you don't have to. But if you're not a good scheduler and you procrastinate to the day it's due, then you do have to.
I mean, for me personally, it's just how my sleep schedule was freshman year. I'd go to bed like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I would wake up at like 6 or 7 because I had 8 a.m.s. So I got like 6 hours of sleep every day freshman year, and I just survived. But like my roommate this year, she goes to bed at 10 p.m. because she wakes up super early because she likes to go to the gym at like 6 a.m. So it's how you schedule yourself.
I was bad at time management, so I didn't have a lot of sleepless nights, but I did have a lot of nights where I would be up until like 1, 2, 3. I will say though, update, it gets better because now, even though I do have 8 a.m.s in my second year, that was my scheduling choice, by the way. Don't schedule. But now that I have 8 a.m.s, still, I will set like a time where it's like I have to stop working at 10. Like I have to stop staring at a screen at 10. I have to do something other than looking at technology because honestly, it's not great for you to try to go straight from looking at a screen to go to sleep. Learn that the hard way freshman year. It's bad for you. But Like I would stop at 10 and then I try to get to bed by like 10:30 or 11 every night. So like that's just something that's worked for me, but you will find that. It might take you a year, like it might take you like 3 weeks.
Mhm.
All depending on the person you are, which is okay.
So that I can't really function after 10 p.m. and I'm just hoping that like take a terrible negative toll on my grades.
It shouldn't. You should be fine because if you wake up early and everything else, like you'll learn and you'll be fine. Just don't procrastinate your work and your homework to the night of. Like what I did was I worked with my friend during the weekend and throughout the weekend on our labs, our our CS2 labs during the weekend, and then on like the day it was before it was due, I was like just free. I went to bed early. I pampered myself. I helped others, and it was great.
It's great, but like also if you ever do have that issue where you start to feel like you're slipping and like you're staying up late a lot of the nights and it's taking a toll on you, reach out to your academic advisor, reach out to one of the study centers, reach out to your professors. There is so many resources on campus that you can get help from. There's like counseling services, there's so many groups, and you'll also be, I don't know if it's still called first year, but you'll be put in a first year class where they kind of help to facilitate your transition into college. This professor can also be a resource to you. I still email mine every so often because he'll check in on me, be like, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing better. Or like, I'm not doing so great. I'm not managing my time well. And they'll send out tips and stuff. Your RA can also help you. There's a lot of resources. Like I'm barely scratching the surface here, but like, if you ever feel yourself slipping and you're starting to get stressed and upset, don't let it go further. Get help. And that could be someone, just a friend. It could be someone from WiC. If you decide WiC is your community, just find somebody and talk about it because we're all in it together. Even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes, if you start to slip in that like mental state, you might not feel like you're all there, you're all put together, but like, trust me, you're not alone. We're all doing it. We're all struggling sometimes. It's okay. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. We have so many different resources. RIT has had really big strides in ensuring that your mental health is put first before academics. And RIT does really well with their counseling services and your professors. Like Kaiser is an absolute sweetheart. He's like, if you ever need a mental health day, just please reach out. And he like you have those professors that are there for you as a resource, and they're just the sweetest professors in the whole entire world.
Yeah, and it's not going to be all school all the time either. So like make sure you're maintaining, I've said it a lot, make sure you're maintaining that balance because like if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to focus on school. But
Yep. Anyone have any other questions?
How safe is the campus?
So safe.
So
safe. We're in our little campus bubble. So like if you look up like Rochester safety, whatever, Rochester itself may not be the safest city, but RIT is in Henrietta in a little suburban bubble, literally a little bubble. And it's so safe. We have blue light, we have the Tiger Safe app, like exactly. Yes, Kimmy, yes. Yeah, so if you feel unsafe or anything and you want somebody to walk you home, you could always call campus safety with their phone number or using the Tiger Safe or going to a blue light, and they'll come and they'll walk you. And then like next year within WiC, we're gonna try doing more freshman walk homes. So like Mal and Emily live in Perkins, so they would walk with all the freshmen back to their dorms all together as a group from WiC because it's kind of dark out. And we all just talk and have fun. So yeah, we do have that system and it's great.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I was wondering, because I saw somewhere that the fall enrollment begins Monday. Does that affect incoming freshmen?
No, your
Okay.
your academic advisor is going to do all of your classes for you. They will make your
Okay.
schedule for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can definitely
Okay.
talk to them about like your schedule,
Mhm.
and they can edit it a little bit if you talk to them, but basically they just hand it to you. You look at it, and there you go.
You'll get
Okay.
your schedule probably closer to your first week. I don't remember exactly when, but
You
will
can't
get
choose
your
to
schedule
not
then.
have 8 a.m. classes. It's
Yeah.
like your academic advisor will put you in there, but like TBH, just do add drop week.
Oh, do that. You can add drop because I really want to take the yoga class because I do yoga all the time and it's like a great stress reliever. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad was like, they're not going to want to add a class because they're going to think it's too difficult. I was like, no one thinks yoga is too difficult. But
Yeah.
so,
Definitely talk to your academic advisor. Like talk to them first because they know a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
If you
Sure.
feel
Yeah.
like super strongly about it too, go to your advisor and say like, I really want to be put in this class. I think it'll
Mhm.
help me like facilitate my transition. Like if yoga is something you want to keep constant in
Also-
your life, they can help you.
There's 1 or 2 yoga clubs on campus.
Mhm.
So
There's
if
power
they only meet
yoga
once
and
a
another
week.
one.
what?
And so
Yeah.
it's sad. And I was like, I can't really do yoga in my dorm. Like I'm imagining that I won't be able to do yoga in my dorm because you need to like stretch out. So
Okay, so on air
Alright.
conditioning in dorms, air conditioning only matters like the first month you're there. After that, everything's fine. I lived in a quad that had floor to ceiling windows across the entire thing. We baked in there.
Mhm.
And then after that, it was fine. It was great. I love my big window.
Honestly, if you need to be in air conditioning, like try for an air conditioned dorm, but after the first couple weeks, if you have a fan, it's not the worst. And there's also
Yeah.
places you can go to be in air conditioning.
Yes, if you do get stuck in Seoul, you're blessed if you're in Seoul. I'm just gonna say I love Seoul personally. I lived
Kate lived in Seoul too. I
Seoul.
lived in Seoul too.
where Seoul. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Anyway, so Seoul has a study room on the first floor that only Seoul students can swipe into. It is air conditioned and it is heated.
Mhm.
And you can change it yourself. You can go over to the little heater and crank it. So if you're dying, you can do that. Or yeah, Ellington is over.
I would wait to find a
Fire
roommate,
alarms.
or if you haven't committed yet, you
Dorms are
have
heated.
until June to
Mhm.
commit and find a roommate. So like you have plenty of time.
Worry about roommate.
Okay.
Like,
Dorms
Is it
are
hard?
heated.
Is it hard to find a roommate if you wait a while, or like not really? Cause not really.
At some point, they just put you in a room. That's what happened to me because
Okay.
I had a really late enrollment date. So I had like no choices.
I mean, I don't really want to be with a totally random person there because then like the living styles might totally clash, and I don't want that. But
They try to
And-
keep you in
Yeah.
line with, like, you take a person out, like you take a little
okay.
test or whatever of like your preferences, and they try to align you with somebody that matches your
Oh
preferences.
yeah, I'm fine with that. Like I don't need to individually pick a person, but like I want to know that this person's gonna be a good fit. Like I don't really want to do like a totally random generator.
You
Yeah.
can also swap roommates or switch rooms if it's like a really big issue. Like if something doesn't mesh, like you can swap
Depending on your
out.
budget too, I believe there's also single dorms, but I'm not
Yeah.
100% positive on those.
Single dorms is more for people with
Mhm.
special needs, and they hold those dorms for those
Yeah.
people first.
But if it is a
What kind
preference,
of
you can
like
try
special
for it.
needs like what kind like the
You
ceiling
have
mouse
to talk to
type?
housing about that because
Okay.
we're not 100% sure.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Like finding
But-
a roommate, it stressed me out at first, but actually I found my roommate through social media. I didn't post anything about going to RIT. My older sister actually posted it, and she posted it with like that hashtag. I don't know what our hashtag is. I think it's like RIT bound. I think they use the same whenever you.
Yeah.
I didn't post it. My sister posted it, and I had a girl reach out to me, and she was like, "Hey, do you have a roommate?" That was Jessie. I love my freshman roommate. She's great. I miss her. I don't room with her anymore. She switched colleges, but shout out to her because I loved her. And I didn't know her going in. It was completely random. But I actually didn't even know what her preferences were as far as rooming. until like we got that, like you'll get a survey and it'll show you the breakdown of like how compatible you are with your roommate. Don't stress about it because honestly, like you're going to live with this person, you're going to develop a relationship with them. And if it just doesn't work out for you, go to your RA, talk to them. They have trainings in this, I believe. They're specialized in trying to help you solve this. And they can do special cases for you. So
yeah,
Another
I just
tip.
want to. Oh, go first.
So when you're picking housing, when you get your appointment, it's going to show you types of rooms. So you can get a double, you can get a triple, a quad, or an overbooked triple. If you have to choose between a quad and an overbooked triple, pick the quad. Because the quad has room for 4 people, the overbooked triple has room for 2. So pick the quad.
We're not going to say housing has been an issue, but it kind of is a little bit. So.
Also, fun fact, if one of the people move out of your quad, you can turn their bed into a couch because nobody's going to move into a quad. So
just to give a little background for me, I lived in a special interest house for my first year, and I got in as an on-floor member, but then I had a really bad roommate. I didn't really enjoy it. So then I moved rooms and I moved dorms like halfway through that semester, and it was a great experience moving things without my parents, but it is completely possible and you can move. And then my roommate ended up taking a semester off, so I had my room to myself for the whole entire semester for the rest of the year, my freshman year. But I can't stress enough that if you are uncomfortable in your living situation, you can get out of there. There's so many people that leave during like the second half semester and everything, and you can find another roommate really easily. Like, please.
And
if
just
you're uncomfortable, don't stay.
Yeah, no, just another tip thing. If you're having issues with your roommate, like really bad issues, and you want them to leave, housing is going to tell you to move yourself. Like, it's very hard to kick out a bad roommate. They're going to tell you to move yourself. So,
if you feel like you're in a bad living situation, don't stay there because you're paying the same amount as that person. You deserve to be in an environment that is helpful and beneficial to you. So if you feel off, or if you feel something is off and you don't want to live there anymore, talk to somebody about it.
So to find a new, no, like housing has a bunch of list of rooms that you can move into that are open. And if you're like really strained, like you need to get out immediately, they have reserved rooms for like emergencies. So housing will help you get out very fast.
Yep.
And like they'll have it so the other person's not in the room if you need to leave, and they'll take people with you to like help move your stuff out. So yeah,
it's really helpful. Do you have any other questions?
Do you guys stay on campus most of the time, or like what's the around RIT like?
I think it depends. A lot of us usually stay on campus a lot, but then there's also going off campus for different events. It depends on like who you know and like the amount of like you're going out on. So like for us with WiC, we go out sometimes to like downtown, or if you have a car, then you could go to like downtown and hang out and go to like Park Ave or something. And it's a lot of fun, but it's kind of like pop rock, but it's like if you find a transportation to take you, you should go, but you should go with a group.
And if you don't have a car, so my freshman year didn't have a car, so I just took the RIT bus on the weekends, weekend retail, which is way better this year. First year, it was 1 hour long, the entire trip. So you were at minimum 2 hours if you wanted to go shopping. But this year they split it up, so you're only on there for like half an hour or so. So on the weekends, weekend retail runs out. You can go to Target, you can go to Walmart, you can go to the mall. It'll take you all around. Very fun thing to do with friends. RIT bus, they're fine. Like they're pretty much on time. And if they're not, they have an app where you can track them, their exact location.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They're getting better at it.
Buses are good. They're good.
And you'll know
they're
it's an
dirty.
RIT bus too. Like they plaster it all over, and they're orange. So, like you will know it's an RIT bus. So.
Any other questions?
This is also not the only session we're going to have of this. So if you don't have a question right now, that's totally okay. We're going to have more of these. So if you have questions, just like write them down, keep them in a safe space. We will answer every question you guys have.
Yeah. And next time, let's bring some more computer science and other majors in here.
I think next time our goal is to try and bring in some freshmen from this year so they get to talk to you about their experiences. Because we can talk to you all day, but we're second years, so we don't know the most recent type of freshman experience.
Because they had to do year one, which is what our first year was, but the entire year. So they can talk about what that was like.
They also have different experiences than us, so we're gonna get you to hear some new WiC members. And we had Kimmy here. She said she's always available via Slack, so reach out to her.
We haven't yet.
We
Join
have
the Slack.
Kelsey.
It's fun.
They're not all. Join the Slack.
Join the Slack.
But
we'll have a lot more volunteers speaking and everything at the next one. So please join us, or this will be on YouTube. So watch it. Okay, I think we're all good then. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Bye.